Hi, today I'm going to share with you a meme posted by Pro-Feminist, and it's a couple of tweets from Teresa Ciagatonu. She's responding to a tweet by Andrew Cuomo, who's the New York governor, and he says, "I want to thank Rihanna and the Rihanna Foundation for donating personal protective equipment to New York State. We are so appreciative of your help and that of so many others who have stepped up." And Teresa Ciagatonu has replied, "For those not keeping track, so far President Rihanna has covered the cost of ventilators in her home country of Barbados, donated $5 million to fight COVID-19 in Haiti, Malawi, Barbados and the US, donated personal protective equipment for the state of New York." And Ms. Ciagatonu follows up with a quote from Rihanna, "Wherever I go, I'm an immigrant. I think people forget that a lot of the time. I think they see Rihanna the brand. But I think it's important for people to remember, if you love me, everyone out there is just like me. A million Rihannas out there getting treated like dirt." So, I've shared this one because I think it is quite telling that Rihanna, who has been quite outspoken in a lot of ways in the last few years, in very positive ways, has donated $5 million and a bunch of other stuff to various places, including the second richest state in the richest country in the world. And this is, first of all, totally unnecessary, but given we live in a capitalist system where the wealthiest can hoard everything, expected. It's outrageous that this isn't every rich person doing this. The fact that Rihanna is singled out, that shouldn't be possible to single out a rich person doing something good. Everyone who has hundreds of millions of dollars should be giving so much to so many people right now. It's indicative of our completely warped sense of worth and the right to wealth. I mean, I love Rihanna. Rihanna's great. But what about all the people like her who have all of this money and do nothing with it? To the point that Rihanna is referred to as President Rihanna. Because not only is she doing so much, she's doing much more than the actual president of the US. I remember when I visited Barbados, at the airport, two great big posters, one of Rihanna and one of Garfield Sobers, the great West Indian cricketer. They are proud, and she is earning that pride, not just in her music, but in how she is conducting herself now. Barbados can be proud of her. Whereas if you look at other examples, here I have a meme from Crystal Ball, who's sharing a picture from social distancing Mancino Williams. This is a picture of Nevada, a state in one of the richest countries in the world, that has painted social distancing boxes on a concrete parking lot for the homeless to sleep in. Okay, doing something nice for homeless, but as Crystal Ball points out, every hotel in Vegas is completely empty now. How can these hotel owners do this? How can they just leave people outside when they have an empty hotel at a time like this? It's madness. There are countless examples of businesses and subsidiaries owned by Jeff Bezos. Amazon is treating its workers like crap to the point that they have to strike. Whole Foods, the same, owned by Jeff Bezos, and is doing a fundraiser to pay for people's sick leave, asking people who are not sick to donate their sick days to others. Bezos is worth $117 billion, and he can't pay sick pay for his Whole Foods workers. It's insane. Insanity for the world to be structured like this. And it's emblematic of US culture. Unfortunately, as a Brit, I suffer this too, because my country is desperately trying to copy the US in all graphs that show the richest countries in the world, what you'd call the wealthy countries, based on things like equality or social mobility or tax revenue being used to help the needy. There are 3 at the bottom of this list. Greece, which is bankrupt, the US and the UK. They are bottom of all of these graphs. Wherever there's a graph that measures what should be the success of a nation, the happiness and well-being of its people, the US and the UK are right at the bottom. If you look at what Canada is doing now, so we're talking about the US mostly, let's look at their neighbour Canada. Canada's $82 billion stimulus is $2,000 a month for 4 months to everyone who loses their job. America's stimulus is a $1,200 loan against future taxes owed and multi-trillions in corporate welfare. Canada's constituents are its people, Americans' constituents are its corporations. This has been the case, as I've talked about earlier, starting in the late 80s and early 90s, where corporate personhood and deregulation became everything. But it's the government that is doing this. And you can see in the way that this is portrayed that it's expected and it's seen as normal. At least for US congressmen or senators were found to have sold stock before announcing the severity of the coronavirus, making tens, even hundreds of millions of dollars from themselves. This is insider trading. This is illegal. If you remember the movie Wall Street, that coined the phrase, greed is good, forgetting for a moment that Michael Douglas's Golden Gecko was the bad guy in that movie. It didn't matter to people on Wall Street, they tried to emulate him. But Charlie Sheen, the main character in that movie, goes to jail at the end for insider trading. Even in their movie, they punish insider trading, and here we have congressmen doing it to the value of tens of millions of dollars. Not just Republicans, Dianne Feinstein, Democrat, also doing it. This is the whole government. This is how Bernie Sanders gets sidelined for Biden, who doesn't even want healthcare in a time like this. It's madness, and it shouldn't be people like Rihanna saving us. Rihanna should not have as much money as she does, but at least what she's doing with it is somewhat right. She is doing what she can. She is helping Barbados, that's fine. She shouldn't have to be helping New York. She shouldn't have to be helping Barbados. But she must. So thank you, Teresa Siagatonu, for your comments, and Pro-Feminist for sharing your meme. Thank you for listening. If you took anything from this at all, please like and subscribe.